We will call to order the 35th meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. No meeting minutes today to approve, so we'll go straight into our agenda item. First, if there's anyone present who wishes to provide testimony on agenda items 1 through 8, you may do so now or wait until the agenda item itself is called. So we'll call agenda item number 1, application number 24-01542 from Memoirs LLC. So at this time, Memoirs is not here. We'll move them to after number 6 on the agenda item, and then we will proceed through to the next agenda item number 2. Calling agenda item number 2, application number 24-01584 from KI Ventures LLC.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Keith Kiyuchi for the applicant, which is KI Ventures LLC. To my right is Bert Kawasaki. He's the manager of KI Ventures LLC. This is an event at Bishop Museum. If you don't have a color, you do. Good, good. Thank you. I brought in a couple extra ones just in case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The event, the promoter's actually in the back here. And if you, as you can see, there's a 21 and over area. It's going to be wristbanded. There's no other entry or exit except for the two, for the one entry exit that you see there. There's a stage, there's an artist entrance, and so it's very well controlled. Mr. Kawasaki has not done Bishop Museum before, but he's done other venues such as the Low Tower.
Okay. Okay, commissioners, any questions? Anything? So, the only question I will ask is, I know that he's not done, Bishop Museum before, but he has done other areas, like you said, Aloha Tower. So for the guys that are in the 21 and over area, right, if I look at the map, all the food booths and things are outside of the
Right.
24 area,
Correct.
21, bar area. So are they planning to have guys bring the food in first before they buy alcohol, or they can go back and forth through that area as long as no alcohol is carried?
They can go back and forth, but it's a drop zone right at that entrance exit.
Okay,
So no, absolutely no alcoholic
Alcohol
beverages
back
are crossing over.
so that was the only question that I had.
And then. All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve application number 24-01584.
It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 2. Any objections or any with reservations? Seeing none, chair also votes aye. This item is approved.
Thank you
Thank
very
you and
much.
good luck.
very
Thank
much.
you. Calling agenda item number 3, application number 24-01662 from Watlo. I'm gonna botch this. Shismera of Hawaii.
No.
Okay, so they are not here at this time. This we will also move to the bottom of the agenda after agenda item number 6. I will also make it known that if they're not here at 6, if we do 7, we'll push them to after 7 to be safe. Give them every opportunity. Okay. Moving to agenda item number 4. Special issues. Thank you, Mr. Bach. Commissioner Bach, you're excusing yourself. Calling agenda item number 4, applications number 24-01703-1 through 24-01703-12 inclusive for Ume Waikiki LLC.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Vikram Garg, member manager of the Ume Waikiki LLC.
So it looks like here we have some specials for some specific days in between, correct?
Yes, we're waiting to get our permanent hearing, which is scheduled on May 4th. May 2nd, I think. May 2nd, I'm sorry. So till then, just for the extension of the special license.
Is there any questions?
We already know what's going on
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay, so commissioners, if no questions, entertain a
All right.
motion.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to approve application number 24-01703-1 through 24-01703-12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 2. Any objections or any with reservations? Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. This agenda item is approved. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you.
We will call agenda item number 5, application number 24-01. Oh, sorry, can we have Mr. Box back in? Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, calling agenda item number 5, application number 24-01706 from Free Spirits LLC.
Good afternoon, Commissioner and Chair. Matthew Choi, Manager, Member of Free Spirits LLC. I have no changes to the investigative report.
Let's see, so Mr. Choi, can you just walk us through this event quickly? But I know that there is some other things that happened there, like the luau and things like that, but can you walk us through this event?
Yeah, so this event is a collaborative art and merchandise release for Kamea Hater from Powell. He's doing a spam inspired collection. So his artwork's gonna go on the spam cans and they're releasing it in with Spam Jam, but not really with Spam Jam. So unofficially, he's not part of that Spam Jam event, but because it's the same thing, they're doing it at the same time.
And so my best understanding of looking at 5, right? 5 is downstairs and then the next one, 6 is upstairs, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I do have one question before I open it up to questions from our fellow commissioners. So looking at your packet that you provided to us, my question for you is going to be, there is a statement in your packet which talks about designated drinking area will be enclosed with barricades or a comparable form of delineation. What do you consider a comparable form of delineation other than barricades?
So that area that's kind of through the middle of the treehouse is all foliage, so you can't really go back there.
Okay.
So like how Ala Moana has the koi ponds and you can't really go in the koi ponds, they're using that as one side of the delineation.
Okay. Okay, so what I will say or what I will suggest is this. I'm not opposed to that as. Oh. Sorry,
Good.
someone said something, sorry.
You're good.
I'm not opposed to some type of foliage as being a area that blocks people off. But I would like to make it known that I would suggest you have someone at least stationed somewhere in that area, keeping an eye on that foliage area, only because we are in Waikiki. We do have little children that are gonna be running around in that area and things like that. And yes, foliage stops people, but if a little kid goes running through the foliage and the parent runs to go get him and he brings his drink by mistake, so if
Yep.
we can have someone there, that gives you a little bit more protection.
We do have roving security that's gonna patrol outside of the beer garden as well as the entrance exit.
All right. I have no other questions, but I do open the floor to fellow commissioners if they have questions.
You guys good? Okay, all right. I'm making a motion to approve application number 24-01706.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 5. Is there any objections or any with reservations? Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. This agenda item is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 6. Application number 24-01707 from Free Spirits LLC.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Chair. Matthew Choi, Manager, Member of Free Spirits LLC. I have no changes to the investigative report.
And I think we've already talked that this is actually the upstairs,
The
right?
second floor.
The second floor part. Okay.
So this is where the actual bulk of the merchandise is gonna be released.
Okay. I have no questions, but I'd open the floor to my fellow commissioners if they have any questions.
Okay.
I have
I'm making the motion to approve application number 24-01707.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 6. Anyone with objections or any with reservations? Seeing none, the chair also votes aye. This agenda item is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, with respect to agenda item number one, the applicant apparently did not remember that there was going to be a hearing set for today. Has it requested us rescheduling to next week, so you can pass number one.
Okay, so with that, number one will be rescheduled to next week. We'll be going back onto the agenda and calling agenda item number 3. Application number 24-01662 from Watloy Sithmaram of Hawaii Inc.
Hello, everyone.
No?
My name is Alan Dondi. I am the authorized agent for Watlao Sitamaram of Hawaii Import.
So could you just walk us through your event quickly?
So as we do have this every single year, it is our Laotian, Thai, Cambodian, also Myanmar New Year's that we are holding. But this year, since we did have an occurrence with 2 fights last year, so now we talked to HPD and we have 6 officers and 1 sergeant on site. So we'll have one officer at the front of the road where the entrance is at, and then also another officer at the entrance of the gate, and then 4 officers patrolling inside.
Okay.
And then on the map that I had submitted, I know it was a little kind of confusing because I kind of rushed did it.
Okay.
Because the old map was, I don't know what happened to it.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't know what happened to it. So I redid it everything to how it's actually stationed now.
Okay.
So most of the area is where is the liquor's at will be blocked off with, you know, those orange netting as well, along
Okay.
with barricades, the
Okay.
yellow barricades, we have those as well. But also we're gonna be pulling the orange
It's called a snow fence.
snow, whatever.
I don't-
Yeah,
No,
that's it. I don't know what's called.
It's an orange fencing. I get it in my mind, okay?
I don't think that's what it's called, but I have a visual.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
We'll also have that as well to block off children. If there is any family that do bring their children, we cannot account how many children will come. It's really unknown.
So,
And sorry,
no,
I
go ahead.
did overestimate the amount of guests that we will have. I did put 1,000 because when the officer that I spoke to said that we did have about 1,000 people coming, but that's going in and out,
Yeah.
not staying in there. Because staying inside there, we can only accommodate up to at least 200.
Okay,
Because parking wise inside the facility can only uphold about 50 to 60 cars.
Okay.
And the rest will, additional parking will be outside at the farm across the street from us.
so one quick question I had based on your floor plan. So the outlined red lines that you have, that will be the only area where alcohol will be served?
Yes,
Okay, so you're gonna have that space in the middle that's kind of blocked off, right?
but that space in the middle, that's actually the road.
The road, okay.
Yeah, so
So there's gonna be that where they can go across the road to get other things if they want to go over there, kitchen, whatever.
they'll have
but-
to walk all around, all the way to the food court,
Okay,
and then to get out.
okay, sounds good. You answered the question in regards to the individuals being able to park their car at the farm.
They can-
If
they
they
can-
need to.
Yeah, we already talked to both farms. There's 2 farms that will be this year. There will be 2 farms. And they said that anybody who wants to park the car there overnight is fine. Any cars that's left over inside the temple is also fine.
Okay. And you answered my question previously, how it went last year, because I remember us approving this last year for you. There was a little bit less of us at that point as commissioners, but I do remember that. And so we just wanted to make sure everything went okay, because I think your temple staff is the ones that are gonna be serving, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
And about approximately 50 to 60 staff will be on site.
okay,
There also staff members will also be patrolling as well.
okay. I have no other questions, but I do open the floor to my fellow commissioners if they have any.
And
All right. I'm gonna make a motion to approve application number 24-01662.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 3. Is there any objections or any with reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. This request is approved. Thank you and enjoy.
you
Have
so
a good
much.
time.
Please come by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I invite you guys every year, but I don't see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll call agenda item number 7, liquor commission.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the topics under agenda item number 7.
So do I just say so moved? So moved, so moved.
Thank you. I also vote aye. We're in executive session. We gotta read that portion, the consulting. Okay, so
To read the floor.
okay, hold on. I will entertain a motion to go into an executive session for the following reasons: to consult with the board's attorneys and on questions and issues in a matter pertaining to the board's powers. Board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities in regards to agenda item number 7.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by aye. We are now in executive session. Sorry, I was like,
Ready?
Okay, thank you. We'll call the meeting back to order from executive session. In executive session, there was no votes taken, and this commission did discuss the processes and procedures within the Honolulu Liquor Commission within itself. We also want to have it noted for the record, we want to maintain or keep this item on the agenda weekly in case we do want to add items to this process. Going to the next item on our agenda, we'll move to agenda item number 8, Honolulu Liquor Administrator.
South Kilos, Administrator of Honolulu Liquor Commission. I'd just like to update you a little bit on what we're doing in terms of addressing the issues that we have with regard to personnel and licensing. Last week, we told you about our attempts to get 2 additional contract employees to help with licensing, and also we are a couple of the enforcement investigators that are going to help out by doing some overtime as well. So they'll be provided with responsibilities, not new applications, but things like stock transfers that can be done. We are in the process of getting them the necessary approvals to be able to look into, to use CJIS, which would allow them to look at the backgrounds of individuals, individual stockholders. So we're trying to provide more hours at the very least, in addition to personnel, try to help out licensing while we go through the process of trying to find more people. So, you know, it's something that's on our minds, and we're trying to throw as much resources as we can. And dare say it's been a short week, so and it feels as though all our initiatives are kind of like at that point where we're waiting for something to happen. So it's difficult to say that I've got something to say. Do you think there's a light at the end of the tunnel as far as the small one? There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. The question is whether or not, you know, we can keep up with the work now. And what we're trying to do is try to provide resources that will help out licensing. You know, we've been relatively successful in terms of trying to recruit for the enforcement side, and that looks pretty good. Knock on wood. We have a number of people coming in into the agency. Today you saw 2 LCIs be sworn in. Next week, 2 more will be coming on board. Someone is scheduled to come in mid-May, and there's another one that we're extending an offer to. So there's that, to the point where where we know that there are, once it's all said and done and all the positions reserved to be able to pay for contract employees, we'll actually get down to the point of maybe just having 3 vacancies available. So at least in terms of recruiting for the LCI ones, we're there. The question of trying to provide resources for the licensing group is because they require a more specialized knowledge base. It's somewhat difficult to just shift people. We're also asking people in licensing whether or not they'd like to take a TA position there as well. So we're going to try to address some of the issues that they've got so that we can deal with not only the backlog, but continue to process the number of applications that we usually are able to do. So, Do you have an idea of the percentage of the capacity necessary, not only to continue, operating and processing applications, but also to catch up on the backlog?
I think in my short period here, what we've seen is that the
the backlog bounces around between 280 and 300 cases, right? It's relatively stable in that end. We haven't really been able to impact that other than that within that relatively narrow band. So to us, that suggests that we need more resources. And so that's the reason why that's part of the reason why we're asking for 2 positions in licensing to be able to, as we go through the reorg. So we're trying to throw additional resources there and we'll keep trying to, and additionally, as Daniel has indicated, in his presentation, we're also trying to make the process a bit more efficient.
So based off the numbers you talked about, right, and the additional bodies you're putting out into this. So a question that I would have would be, what is an optimal number of individuals that you need to get through the current backlog, as well as keep up with current incoming licenses? So once we get through that process, we don't get back to a humongous backlog. So you personally, do you have a number you think of as what you'd like to be at?
At this point, I really don't. I'm just trying to get more resources into the section. As to whether or not, what impact 2 additional LCI 3s will have. I'm not really quite sure yet. I didn't, the math suggests that, yeah, there will be some impact. There will always be some segment that will always be there in the background that we need to address. I think at this point, just the question is whether or not we can get resources there as quickly as possible. And I think the reorganization is a way of doing that. In addition to trying to hire the contract employees to eventually make them into LCI 3s, as well as trying to provide additional resource, either by hours provided by enforcement investigators, to just try to address some of the concerns that we have with licensing.
Have we analyzed like the pipeline of all the applications, and I see that it's probably organized chronologically, but are there commonalities within that whole ball of wax of why it's stuck where it is, and can we start to decompose that, and then there are certain specialties that certain employees may have to attack that item to move it through, rather than just going from first in to first out?
Yeah, so that's something that we're trying to do. I think the licensing group has always had the philosophy of first in, first out. And I think that the belief is that that is the most equitable way of dealing with the press of applications that we have. There are some things that affect that are on the side of the applicants as well, but that delay some of those things, right? But I think we need to be cognizant of the process. I think as to whether or not we're doing too much is a question that we have to ask.
Doing too much? Oh, for the whole process?
For the whole process, like, are we getting into areas that perhaps we shouldn't? Those are questions that I think we have to answer. Whether it's just, for example, is it okay to just say, hey, DPP says this is zoned for this, and that's fine, rather than having to go through looking at what the land ordinances say, so to speak. So I think it's one of those things where, it's critical for us to protect the public welfare. But also it's critical to begin to understand that there's a counterbalance involved as well, that there are businesses that rely on the ability to sell alcohol. And that's part and parcel of their ability to be successful and their ability to meet the demand that we have in an economy that's heavily reliant on hospitality. So I think those are things that we need to consider as well.
I guess I'm saying two, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I guess saying two tracks, yeah, what less can we do for the existing process today? And what more can we do on a Band-Aid approach to attack that list down while we're working on this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. In a perfect world, I think we could do first in, first out. But it's not a perfect system right now. We have a backlog to clear up, and if we're able to process quickly a swath of these applications because it's an easier process, there's less that needs to be done. Or it's just checking off, yes, all these applicants have completed what they need to complete, approved. I think we should look at that as what is our procedure, our principle or
Agree.
our strategy. Because it's not a perfect system right now. We don't have the luxury of just waiting. If one, or a batch of cases that are older are gonna clog up the system so that nothing else can pass through, that is not functional.
Got to do different things to get a different, better result. Right? What I'm saying. Same old is talk about definition of insanity.
Yeah.
I think we understand that. We're looking at trying to change things.
It would be great to hear progress on that. And how are we looking to change our strategy, going forward on a regular basis?
Yes. Organization. Did your
yeah,
organizational type thing?
Chart.
Oh, yeah. So we'll be able to get the organizational chart for the entire commission. I think I asked that. I can't recall when, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's imperative because you're talking about a reorg, in order to, and also needing to understand how many positions, to Chair's question, we need to know what the current org chart looks like before we can begin to conceptualize what the new one should be.
And I think not just, I would suggest not just Commissioner Sakamoto, I think it would be good for all of us to have.
Oh,
So that
yes.
we could actually look and deliberate what things need to kind of be moved. Only reason I say that is we've talked about, like you said, some LC1s going to help in stock transfers, but if your flow of 300, 280 or 300 licenses have only 5 or 10 stock transfers, those are great to get done quicker, but that's not going to impact your larger group that they can't really assist with, right? So we want to know, what other areas we have in the flow chart.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we move on, the commission may go into an executive session for the following reasons: to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues on a matter pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities, and also to consider the higher evaluation, dismissal, or discipline of an officer or employee where consideration of matters affecting privacy may be involved. I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for this purpose.
So moved.
A
Second.
second.
Been moved and seconded. We are now in executive session. Okay, thank you. We are back from executive session. Just a summary of executive session. No votes were taken, but there was discussion between the commissioners about personnel issues, enforcement coverage, as well as the backlog in the licensing department. With that said, no other things on the agenda. We shall end